does the person you are with encourage you to read? You have to ask, what does he bring for me? Roses or books? If someone has a stake in making you better, that person will push you towards books. Books are what we all need.
Pranam Acharya ji. My question is Arjun had many flaws, and it took presence of Sri Krishna and 17 chapters of Gyan to really bring him to truth. We have many flaws too. We move in the right direction as we perceive. I don't know whether we move or not, but we feel that when you listen to you, when we read Vedanta, when we read Gita, we feel that we are understanding it. But our bad conditioning is so strong. It is so strong and bad that it overpowers our knowledge or understanding. At many moments, it makes us think and say things which are inopportune, and it makes us regret, right? It makes us feel as if our knowledge was of no use. So my question is, how do we make truth emerge to forefront in such moments, right? Because for Arjun also, it took such a long time. I don't know whether we can get that kind of Krishnatva for us to emerge out of it.
First of all, don't wait for the problematic moment, please. You would require to be immensely lucky if you can get support, help right in the moment. That does not usually come. That's like being next to a hospital while having a heart attack. Usually, when you will have a heart attack or an arrest, you will find there is neither an ambulance nor a hospital around. Don't wait for the moment. Prepare so that those moments become very infrequent. Also, remember that the onus of finding your Gita and staying close to your Gita is all upon you. Yes, while having the kind of personal attendance that Arjun seems to be benefiting from is difficult. But our task has been made easy by the ubiquitous availability of the Gita. And I have no doubt in again and again asserting that Sri Krishna is just the Gita. The two are one. If you will keep asking for a physical form in the shape of Krishna, more often than not, you will meet disappointment. Sometimes you might just be lucky. But usually, it's not going to happen that you actively get a conscious being to stand next to you and deliver the 18 chapters. But the Gita will never disappoint you. The Gita will never be absent in your moment of requirement. Equally, I am saying don't wait for the moment of requirement. So be with the Gita throughout. You can never be done with it anyway. So if you want to know it even superficially, you have to go again and again to it, which means continuously. Which means every verse has to be read n number of times. I have spoken over these verses so many times now. Yet, every fresh instance of intimacy with the verses is even more delightful to me than the previous one or all the previous ones combined. One could think that revisiting the same thing the sixth time must be boring. On the contrary, the sixth time is more delightful than the fifth one. And I'm looking forward to the seventh one. That's the beauty here. The beauty is not there. The beauty is actually revealed when your darkness comes in touch with the light of Gita. So your own darkness dissolves and your inner beauty then shows up and shines. Getting it? So this immortal gift is with us, right? What more do we want? It's immortal and it is ever giving, inexhaustible. You can never say, I assure you, that you are done with it. Instead, your thirst for it will keep increasing the more you go into it. See, that's the difference between food and the body and consciousness. The body is hungry for food, broadly speaking. The consciousness is hungry for realization, or light, let's say. Now, the thing with body and food is, after you have had a certain quantity of food, the body does not want food. So the requirement or appetite for food reduces with the intake of food. Am I right?
Yes.
The appetite for food reduces with the intake of food. On the contrary, your appetite for light or knowledge increases with your acquaintance with light. The more you have it, the more you want it. And those who don't have it, they don't even want it. So instead of coming to a point of saturation, instead you find that the more you are exposed to the Gita, the more it is whetting your appetite. Those who do not know Gita, they will say, not only do we not know Gita, we also do not want to have the Gita. And those who get into it, they get into an infinite upward movement.
Acharya, what do you do when you are with a person who doesn't want to know Gita?
I usually do not allow myself to be in that situation. And that's the answer. So I had to think, when was the last time I was with someone who was actively resisting it? I did chance upon something in my memory. And the next thing I could remember was I was no longer there. If I am with someone who doesn't want the Gita, I'll ensure, I don't even need to ensure, it just happens that I'm not there for long. What am I doing with that kind of a person? Not out of any kind of disgust or hatred. Just that there are far more eager people waiting for me. And I have a limited lifetime. How do I spend it on someone who neither wants it for himself nor would allow me to go deeply into it? At the same time, I'm not someone who ever gives up on anybody. I can never strike out anybody from my life. And it has been a puzzle to me how people are able to delete people from their lives or minds. How people say now the relationship is totally broken, or I have not gone to my home over the last 5 years, I don't want to see my parents' face, or that I have broken up from someone and now I even hate to remember that I was once with them. It just beats me. It's all right to not to spend time with someone purely because your time is better utilized elsewhere. That is one thing. But to start totally discounting someone or hating someone is not possible, because the reason is simple. Gita is the destiny. Ultimately, we all have to meet here. It is your destiny and it is my destiny. It is his and her destiny. So how do I hate someone? We are all travelers and in some sense co-passengers. The paths are different, the attitudes are different, the pace is different, the intensity of love is different, but the destiny is the same. So which means that one can ignore certain people for some time, but at the same time you wait for them. You wait for them to reach a certain ripeness. And you keep an eye. When you perceive there is the right moment, then you approach. Then you strike. Because now the opportunity has presented itself, so you strike. Striking, etc., is violence in language. So I don't mean that. So I don't mean bombing or something. I simply mean being present with the right intentions.
So till the time they're not ripe, maybe just continue with the inward journey and be a different self outside.
Is there an option?
No.
Is there an option? You can only wait. Try with your utmost sincerity, and if still the fellow does not reciprocate, what else can you do? You cannot continue wasting yourself at a point, at a place where no returns are possible because the time has not yet come. And remember that you are a limited individual, so are all of us. We cannot make magic happen. We cannot perform miracles. The fellow does not want to listen to Gita, and you cannot do some kind of jantar mantar that he becomes a self-knower within the next 2 hours. It's not possible. It requires a great deal of sincerity from both sides for the process to initiate and cover some distance. So I have come across people who somehow have a misplaced belief in their, omnipotence. They say, I am a knower, I am a seer, I know the Gita. So I'll make my brother learn the Gita. You cannot make these things happen. You can attempt, you can remain present, you can wait, but you cannot force your way into somebody's consciousness. Pushing through these things cannot happen. That's the lesson I have learned. In my youthful exuberance, even I nurtured this kind of utopian belief that I can bring about miracles and I can forcefully have people change and accept the truth. That only meant that I grade very fast. Don't try too hard at the wrong place at the wrong time.
And thank you, Acharya. Pranam.